Alright, good morning, afternoon, or evening everyone. Today I have the Tier 9 Premium Destroyer, the Velos, here to show you guys. Of course, this is the first Greek ship in WoWs. As you can see, it of course falls under the Pan-European line. Well, not really line, but nation, as you can see. It's Pan-European. But of course, as we know, Velos is a Greek ship. Now you guys must be wondering, what is this camouflage? Well, this is the trireme camouflage it has. I'll of course show you the normal camouflage shortly. But yes, let's talk about how it's going to be available. It'll be available as part of a Portal campaign adventure, similar to that of the USS Black campaign that will begin on 21st October. So the campaign will begin on the 21st of October. So 2 days after I post this video. And apparently at the beginning of the new year, according to this, she will also be available for doubloons, just like normal, so a normal price of ship. So I assume how it's gonna work is there's gonna be this campaign, which is like USS Black basically, and you complete the campaign, and then you can purchase the Velos for full price. Or if you don't want to do this campaign and you don't really feel like, you could just wait till next year, probably January. And the Velos will be released for doubloons. Apparently, it doesn't really say anything else, so I assume it's just a doubloon ship. So it'll probably be around the same price of every other tier 9, so 19,300, I think, 9,300 doubloons. But yes, anyway, let's get into actually talking about the ship. So let's look at our commander build I'm going to be running. I have preventative maintenance, last stand, survivability expert, concealment expert, superintendent, adrenaline rush, fill the tubes, and swift fish. And then for my equipment, I have main battery mod 3, concealment system mod 1, prop mod 1, torpedo tubes mod 1, engine boost mod 1, and main armaments mod 1. And in terms of the build, I just wanted to talk about it. Why am I not running, for example, main battery and a specialist? It's because it really and truly, it only buffs your main gun reload by 0.1 seconds. And, well, Fearless Brawler, you're a smoke destroyer. And, well, range, I mean, the arcs are American arcs, so you don't really want the range either. So I think this build is decent, of course. And for this one, I took reload mode because it actually buffs it like 0.2, 0.3 seconds. So it actually helps quite a fair amount. But in terms of the torpedoes, before we go into the game, you only have one launcher, okay? So even though we are slightly spec'd for torps, I didn't go completely spec'd for torps, obviously, in terms of the upgrades. That's because you can get your torp reload down to 54 seconds with 73 knots of speed, 19,000 damage. They are 10.5 kilometer torp range, like Fletcher. But yes, they're pretty good torps, to be honest. And they reload really fast. That's kind of its crazy thing. Its concealment is 5.8. So not really too good. I mean, it's the same as Fletcher, but Chungmu also outspots it. Its speed is pretty good, 39.9 knots. That's, of course, without the speed boost. Of course, you have a speed boost available here. And in terms of the HP, you have 20,000 HP. That's with SC, of course. Everything's with the build here, so keep that in mind. Anyway, for the camouflage of the ship, we have the trireme camo. The Greek trireme, which I think looks pretty funny. But you also have the more traditional Velos camo, which is a more traditional, I would say, just normal base standard. It's actually not even a camo, basically. It's just, I mean, it's obviously historical, because I believe Velos, I mean, at this stage, when it was Greek, it would have worn something like this, which is just a plain gray. But if you don't want to be cartoonish, I think they are giving this Greek trireme camo out for free with some mission chain or something, so you could probably get it, and that would be pretty cool. But yeah, I think we should go into a game. Alright, so here we are on Northern Lights in a tier 10 match with the Velos. Here it is, as you can see. Of course, it looks like a Fletcher. It's, I mean, the same class as a Fletcher class. This would make this ship the, let's see, I think it's the 5th or 4th Fletcher. No, it's the 5th Fletcher class. So we have Fletcher, USS Kid, USS Black, Chungmu, and Velos. So that's 5 Fletchers in WoWs now. Hopefully they do keep adding them, obviously. The wish I have is if they put a Fletcher for each nation almost, I think they can make them like different gimmicks, you know? Nation-related gimmicks. But that's just a thought I had. I don't know if they'll actually end up doing that, of course. Alright, so here we approach the cap, obviously. We spawned on these, so I decided to go decap. The Des Moines is in a division with the Marceau, so we know the Des Moines is here, and there he is spotted in front of us. And we're obviously gonna have to be careful about that. He has 10-kilometer radar range. But yeah, I mean, we're just gonna throw some torps, hope for the best. And just be really careful, honestly, because this thing has no heal, you have to keep in mind. It's not like the USS Skin. And it doesn't have radar like Chung Mu or USS Black. And it doesn't have TRB like Chung Mu. I mean, this one, honestly, is probably the closest to Fletcher out of all of them. Because it has pretty much just guns and torps like Fletcher. We instantly got radared. We're going to try leave the cab. That's why we pre-angled, basically. We came in, reversed in. So we're not bow in and then get giga smashed. We might actually... No, probably not. I wish, but highly unlikely we actually end up getting a torp. We did get a torp on the Marceau, which is pretty nice. Because I did mean to torp the Azuma. But that's pretty good. The torps are relatively fast. They go 73 knots. So obviously that will make it a bit hard for him to dodge that. And we're going to turn around slowly. So yeah, so what do you donate over a Fletcher? Because I think Fletcher would be the most comparable destroyer to this at this tier. Well, you have the fact that... Oh my god, sorry, these guns are really loud and I don't know... No. So my headset broke, right? So everything seems really loud right now. But for me, but for you guys it probably just sounds the exact same. But yeah, so you basically have one less gun than Fletcher. Which is alright, I guess, because you do trade that with better gun reload. You get a 2.2 second gun reload with the build. You can obviously get it down to 2.1 seconds, and then you have AR on top of that, so it's pretty good. But you also remove a torpedo tube, so you're not only removing one gun, but you're also removing a torpedo tube from the Fletcher, and, well, there you go, you have a Velos. And the torps do seem pretty good on the Velos, obviously. Actually, not really exactly sure what Fletcher torps are like. I will check after this game is done, obviously, and I will let you know. You can compare it more directly with the Fletcher. But yeah, the HP is obviously the same. The guns are very similar, except these have better reload, obviously, but they're very similar. The torps are very similar, but they also have better reload, for example. So as you can... I mean, it's pretty much just better reloading, just less actual things, but better reloading everything. Obviously, a big thing this thing has, I mean, it's not really that big for me, but maybe for some of you guys, it could be like a pretty good thing. You obviously have DFA and smoke at the same time. So that means, obviously, you don't have to trade off like... Sorry, DFA and speed boost at the same time. Because normally, Fletcher, for example, you have to either pick between DFA or speed boost. Obviously, for me at least, it's like an obvious choice. You pick speed boost all the time, but obviously there are people who prefer having DFA. On this case, you get to have both of them, which could be pretty good for some of you guys, because maybe some of you guys are actually interested in having both of them. I personally don't really mind having speed boost only, because, well, I don't really use the DFA most of the time. And, well, if a carrier is coming for me, I don't feel like my DFA is going to, like, just smash him out, you know what I mean? At least that's how I feel. So I normally just end up running the speed boost on the Fletcher. So that's why what I'm trying to say is I don't think this is a crazy big advantage for the Velos over the Fletcher, having that DFA, I guess, and speed boost on 2 different slots. But obviously it helps, I guess. It's better than nothing, right? I was kind of saddened because this thing kind of got nerfed throughout testing. Obviously it had better concealment. It had the 5.6 kilometer concealment originally. Which would have been pretty fun, I would say. We just got 3 torps on the Des Moines, which is pretty good. I think having the 5.6 kilometer detection would have been pretty fun to play. Obviously, it would have made it the same concealment as No Sashimi. Would it have made it overpowered? Well, it's questionable, right? Because is No Sashimi like completely overpowered? I mean, it has decent torps. It has pretty decent guns. Obviously, they're not the same guns as this, but it's still the guns are still pretty good on it. And obviously, biggest thing, it has a super heal, right? So it heals for a lot of HP. There's the Des Moines Giga Smash. Hopefully someone can finish him off, but it's unlikely. But yeah, I mean, having the same exact concealment as Fletcher is a bit disappointing to me, at least. And I mean, obviously not because, really and truly just because it's the same as Fletcher. It's really and truly because Chung Mu outspots you. And obviously Chung Mu's pretty... in my opinion, it's pretty good. I do love Chung Mu to play it. but this just seems like it doesn't have too much going over it, over Chungmu. I mean, the guns, sure, you do have the guns, that's cool. But the guns on Chungmu aren't bad. Obviously, Chungmu gets TRB, which is a pretty good thing to have. Can I actually get a torpedo here, please? Yes, another torpedo hit. We're getting a lot of torpedo hits. So that's the thing I wanted to mention, obviously. Even though you only have one rack of torps, they reload very fast, and they're pretty decent torps. Like, the speed is good, and the damage is pretty good. So you can do pretty well with them. But you have to keep this in mind that Chungmu does have TRB. So not only do you not, like, you have one rack over the Velos, but you have 3 racks over Velos in theory, because, well, in a real game, you're obviously gonna launch your 2 sets, and then you have the opportunity to TRB and launch another 2 sets, so that's 4 sets. This has 1 set. And Chungmu torps are obviously invisible, because they're deep waters. And, oh, the Domoin's gonna run in and radar again. Gotta be careful. We have speed boost available if we need. But yeah, so that's what I'm trying to say about Chungmu. Well, it obviously has more torps, and I think the torps are probably better. The only difference, I guess, biggest difference would be, well, Velos can't hit Chungmu can't hit destroyers with torps. This can. Obviously, we hit the Marceau at the start of the game. You can hit destroyers with this one, which is pretty cool. I think we're gonna manage this cap, by the way, which is going to be pretty nice for us and our team. If we can open water this Pommern for a second or two here. I apologize up here, it seems to be bugged. I had a mod installed for COTS because I was casting COTS last weekend. I'm gonna try post a COTS game, at least one of them. I think some of them were really interesting to watch. I'll probably highlight one for YouTube or 2 of them for YouTube. But yeah, you'll see it in the cast there. I had the HP bars up here, and I think since I uninstalled the HP bars, went back to stock, well, it bugged it out, so I'll just have to reinstall the mods after pretty much I record this video. But yeah. Let's see what we're gonna do. I'll skip this part till I figure out what we're doing, I guess. Okay, some aircraft. Testing the anti-aircraft abilities of the Velos DFAA. Obviously, there's fighter planes. We don't count those. We're just trying to shoot down these. Obviously, I'm also sectored on the wrong side now, which won't help the situation. But we shot down 6, probably pretty much all fighters, really. Is that our team smoke screen? No, that's not our team smoke screen. That is a Friesland inside it. Or is it? Doesn't look like it.
I need intelligence data.
Okay, there's a Friesland. He's full HP, so I'm gonna need assistance on him. He obviously out-reloads me, and he has Hydro. So we have to keep that in mind. We're gonna actually use a smoke here. We have to, or we'll die, because he out-DPMs us. And I think we're the closest person to actually shoot him. We're just gonna have to really wait for a Nevsky radar, maybe. He obviously doesn't have torps, which is nice. For us. Not nice for him, I guess. We get our torps in 20 seconds or so. Hopefully he doesn't power Hydro us, but we do have a Nevsky radar coming in very fast. I'm gonna try to shoot down these planes. Hopefully that encourages the carrier to just fly over to see what's happening. There's a Friesland, he's leaving. Oh, the Nevsky radar. Sadly, I don't have a shot. I can't really help. Kremlin is killing the entire flank on the other side. But if they push the Friesland far away enough, we can actually take this cap. And after, I'll probably go try kill the Kremlin, maybe. Yeah, probably. Our Missouri's probably dead. Yeah, he's dead. But Friesland's also probably dead, because he's getting surrounded here. We need to try not kill ourselves for this, obviously. We're gonna try let our team kill him, because we do need to save some HP here, because we're gonna need to probably fight the Marceau late game, to be honest. I'm obviously not gonna go chase the Marceau, because I don't think that's a good idea. I'm actually gonna go try kill the Kremlin, who's gonna be pushing down the flank. Assuming he's pushing down the flank. We're gonna get the cap first, obviously. Hopefully they can actually focus the Schlieffen. It's really important. Because we are gonna lose Puerto and Missouri here for that Schlieffen. Schlieffen is not really dying. Schlieffen doesn't really die too quickly, so it might take us a while to kill him. Speaking of which, actually the Kremlin's turning north, so I'm gonna actually turn north and maybe make a play for A here with our carrier. The Kremlin could actually die here, which would mean I can take the A cap for free. Sure, we'll lose the Missouri and the Puerto, which we pretty much did already, but there will be, we'll pretty much have all the cap ticks at that point, right? But we do need to kill the Kremlin somehow. He's actually turning south again. 15 seconds on the cap. We have to get it first, obviously. I don't know if the carrier can finish the Kremlin alone. Seems to be a bit suffering, but does seem to be suffering. Okay, fine. We'll go kill it. We can't go north then. We'll have to go south and intercept the Kremlin.
Engine boost activated.
San Luis probably dead as well. This is going to be a pretty close game overall, I would say. Yeah. Anyway, going south. Obviously, our top speed is 43 knots with speed boost. I do hope the Kremlin gets spotted before he peeks around the corner on my face. Would be appreciated. I can know where to torp. No, we're not going for the Schlieffen. Our carrier is actually running at the Schlieffen. Not really a good idea at all, to be honest. Yeah, I think we're griefing at this point. It's really unfortunate that the carrier is choosing to run at a Schlieffen full speed. And a widespread here. As you can see, the widespread isn't too wide, because it's pan-European style. I'm actually going to take a smoke here, even though I want to use it for the Marceau later. Really and truly, we can't actually use it on the Marceau, because, well, all our ships are going to be dead. So it doesn't matter. Obviously, I could have just let the Torps kill him, but I wasn't confident enough. Some people just dodge everything, you know. I think he would have actually eaten all of them, though. But you never know, you never know. It's also partly greed, I guess. Alright, let's go for the Marceau kill now. We're gonna have to open water him. We obviously have worse DPM than him by a lot. He obviously has French saturation. So it's probably gonna be impossible. Probably gonna be impossible to win the fight against him. But we'll try our best, obviously. We'll still try to kill him. Critical engine damage. And no, we don't manage to kill him, of course. But yeah, that's the game. Alright, so we ended up getting 117,000 damage, 224 shell hits, 5 torp hits, 2 kills, 2 caps, and a bunch of other ribbons like 14 plane kills and stuff. But yeah, for team score, we got top of the team. We did try. I'm going to compliment our Nevsky because I felt like he did try also. In terms of detailed report, we didn't end up getting any achievements, of course. But in terms of detailed report, we did 29k to the Kansas, 41k to the Des Moines, and 9k to the Kremlin, and then some chip damage on everything else. We also did 16k to the Marceau ourselves. For credits, as you can see, the damage distribution is pretty even between guns and torps. Actually, it's the exact same between guns and torps, because 58k from guns because of the fire, and 58k from torps. So that's pretty cool. And damage received 20k, so we obviously died. And then we have, this is the credits and XP. Alright, so for my captain build again, I'm running preventative maintenance, last stand, survivability expert, superintendent, concealment expert, adrenaline rush, fill the tubes, and swift fish. And for my equipment, I'm running main battery mod 3, concealment system mod 1, prop mod 1, torpedo tubes mod 1, engine boost mod 1, and main armaments mod 1. And before we do it, I just wanted to show you the Fletchers, or the Fletcher, and this one, the Velos, Pan Euro here, Destroyer. Okay, so Fletcher, as you can see, if we could put a captain build on it, and we just put a similar build, I wouldn't put the same build on Fletcher, obviously. Probably put this on Fletcher, probably be pretty decent. Yeah, something like that. It's just something out of my head, don't worry. So Fletcher, in terms of torpedo reload, is much slower, obviously, 30 seconds, 40 seconds slower. And the torp speed is the exact same, and the damage is the same. And the torp spotting, well, is the same. So that's all the same, but the reload is 30 seconds better on the Velos. But you have to keep in mind that you do have a narrower spread on the Velos. I'm not sure if you noticed in the first game which I showed you, the spread on the Torps is significantly narrower than Fletcher's. So even though you only have one rack, you can be like super narrow with it or something. If you're pretty dead certain you're gonna like the enemy ship is gonna do something, you can pretty much torp at him in that location, and you're gonna get like 5 hits or 4 hits or 3 hits, whatever. They're really narrow, so you can hit a lot in one go, you know, or you can miss a lot in one go, you know. So that's pretty much it. But you obviously have the normal spread if you want. But that's pretty much the Velos. The question obviously you guys are asking, do I recommend the Velos? Well, I think it's alright. I think it's actually a pretty fun ship to play. But obviously I have a Fletcher, and well, Fletcher's pretty good too. Personally, my favorite out of all the Fletchers would be the Chung Mu. I know, unpopular opinion, but I actually prefer the Chung Mu to this as well. Obviously Chung Mu has worse guns, but even before buff, I actually quite like the Chung Mu. I think Chung Mu is still a pretty good ship, obviously. Actually, it's probably something like this, yeah. Something like this. Chung Mu is still pretty good, obviously. Obviously, it has a worse gun reload, 2.9 seconds, as you can see with build. But your Torpedoes, even though they have a significantly worse gun reload, obviously this build's actually incorrect. I would spec something into this and this for randoms, because Chung Mu is obviously the Torpedo boat. 89 seconds. Your Torp spec is obviously 30 seconds slower. But you get 4 racks of Torps, you have to keep in mind, because you have TRB. But if you really are addicted to Fletcher, like I'm saying, really addicted to Fletcher, and you want another Fletcher, honestly, I will find this ship fun, because I like Fletchers. I really like Fletchers. I think they're fun. And having another one, obviously, it's pretty good. This ship isn't game breaking at all. I think it's really fairly balanced, I would say. I don't think it's too strong. I don't think it's too weak. I think it's pretty good in the middle. So if you want another like Fletcher, but pan-European instead, pretty much you have to want a Fletcher again. It's not exactly Fletcher. Fletcher has 2 racks of Torps, obviously, but it's it's pretty much the exact same playstyle as Fletcher, because you have the guns and the Torps, and you have to use both. You have to use both to be effective. So yes, I kind of do recommend it for people who really enjoy Fletcher and want a proper premium one almost. But if you really aren't interested in that style at all, well, maybe a different ship would be good for you. Obviously, the ship could be used for smoke. For example, if you have a div mate, you want to smoke him up. But I still think Chung Mu is better than this for smoke botting. And I also think USS Black is probably better as well for smoke botting. But I think Chung Mu is my favorite for smoke botting, because it's fast, has torps, and the smokes are pretty much the best out of all of these Fletchers, because these are American smokes. They're not bad. They're super long duration, so if you're able to sit in them for a long time, they're very good. But the thing I like about Chung Mu is you can be a bit more flexible with your smoke. Obviously, Chung Mu has radar, but if you want to swap out the smoke. But this is pretty much the Velos video, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. And please do let me know if you have any feedback, any questions, anything. I'll try to answer. I'll try to be best and answer in the description or in the comments below. Sorry, I'm really tired when I'm recording this video. I'm actually gonna go sleep right after this for a bit before the stream. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please do let me know if you have any questions or not. I will try my best to answer them. But this was the Velos. Obviously, I think it could have been a bit better overall, but I still think it's a pretty good ship. The sad part is, obviously, it's only doubloons, which might be a bit hard for most people to get. Since it's only doubloons, well, it's pretty difficult, I would say, to get, because you can't get it for free. You have to pay, or you've been playing ranked forever and you've been saving for something like this, which is highly unlikely. So you're probably going to pay for this. So obviously that's another downside the ship has is, well, limited availability due to it being doubloons. But that's pretty much it, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Big fan.